So I was expecting like probably it will take 1 month at least. But I got an email from the embassy like it has been issued in 5 days.
Now, one of the important question that I feel through audience point of view is, do you really need a consultant or one can really do the process by himself? Is it that hard or that easy? What do you feel about it?
I would say you would.
All right, so welcome back to our channel. And this year, this is the first news of visa here. And sitting with me today is Swastik. And hi, Swastik, a very warm welcome to our channel.
Thank you so much. Bye.
All right. So before we listen from Swastik, let me tell you, we will discuss a lot in this interview. We will talk about his process, documentation, visa interview. How did he prepare that? And he got acceptance from Polimi. That means one of the best universities. So there are so many things to discuss with him. So yes, we should begin with that part directly. And yes, to Swastik, to start with a small introduction from your side for our audience.
So I would say, as you know, my name is Swastik and I am from Delhi. I have completed my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and I've completed it from SRM. It's in Chennai. And that's why I chose to do masters. And that's how I got the information about Polyme. And the information that I got, like the Polyme is there in Italy, is just from Eurodreams only. When I was in second year or third year, I wanted to go Germany, but I saw one of your podcasts and Dipanshu was taking a podcast from a student, and he told like there's a very good university in Italy as well, and it's Polyme. So that's why now I'm going to Polyme.
All right, great, great. That's a great start to go with. Okay, so talking of the part directly on to the point, the very first thing is to get the application done. And to our audience, he has done the application by himself. He has not taken help from a consultant throughout his process of even application and pre-enrollment and everything. So to talk with, how did you do it yourself? How did you manage all that stuff?
First of all, I will start from my third year. I made my bachelor's in 2023, and right now it's 2024. So I plan to going for masters in 2023 itself. I started my application from you can say my third year. So I did IELTS for my language test, and I had to do GRE as well, but I couldn't find time, so I did IELTS only. And from 20 my last third year, I started to applying in Italian university. For main was Polyme, and then my second preference was Sapienza. And other than that, I didn't have any universities to apply. I was also looking to apply for EPFL, but for that GRE was mandatory, so I didn't apply. And then when I was in my fourth year, I got accepted in Polyme, so I chose to go with Polyme. My first preference was mechanical only, and I chose my second preference, Leco, a second campus, but that also was from mechanical engineering. For that, you can say from my application, I did 3 letter of recommendations from my professors, and I made motivation letter myself. And so throughout the application, I would say my letter of recommendations were very strong. And after that, as I told you, like I wanted to go masters in 2023 itself. So I faced many challenges there, and I was not able to go in 2023. So then I reapplied for 2024. So the main challenges I faced was my degree got delayed. I went in Sweden for my exchange semester in my last semester. That is my 8th semester. So my exchange semester finished on June, and Polyme was starting on September last year. So I tried everything, and as you know, the documents are like so many, and you need apostilles, you need HRD, and I need to get my degree as well for that process. So I tried with my university to get my degree as soon as possible, but I was not able to get my degree on time. So everything got delayed, and then I asked with Polyme like, what's the last date I can come there? They told me like November 30th is the last, and after that we cannot help. 38th is the deadline from us. So I tried to do everything by November 30th, but I couldn't. I had all my documents till November 25th, so only 5 days were left. So I decided to postpone my masters. I say like I told to myself like I will reapply again and I'll get the admission again. So let's just postpone it to the next year, because in 5 days getting a visa is not possible. I thought so, and that in the time of November itself, so it was not possible. So I reapplied again in the 2024 intake and got the admission again. And then And as I had all my documents ready in 2023 itself, so getting the documents ready was not a task again. So hence it went very smoothly. And one more thing I want to say, like when I was applying in 2023, my embassy was Mumbai because I was in a south jurisdiction, as
Okay,
my college was
Mumbai
in Chennai.
consulate.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So there I opted for DOV because CMIA portal was closed at that time during July. So
Hmm.
I opted for DOV. It took 1 month. There, eSanad worked for my, you can say, it was a benefit for me that eSanad worked there. Then I got the DOV from Mumbai. And then this year I had to apply from Delhi. So in Delhi, they need apostilles for in the hard copy as well. So
Hmm.
my, you can say, my HRD was not in the hard copy because it was eSanad. So I redid my HRD, and that too I got it done in 1 day because my, as also had one friend with me who is going with me as same course. So we did HRD from here only in Delhi. There's like a Tamil Nadu Bhavan, and he got the contacts like some from a from a site like there's HRD can be done from here as well. So we contacted them in person, and then they organized us. We requested them like if you can please do it because we are not able to go to Tamil Nadu because we have work. I
Yeah.
was working then. I was in a corporate, so we got the HRD done as well in 1 day, and it's like getting HRD done from Tamil Nadu is a very, you can say, it's a time taking task because we have
Yeah.
to go there, then you have to wait. It's a very tedious process. And then I also did HRD in my hard copy, and then everything was smooth because I had everything ready. So then I booked a visa slot on 24th July, and then 24th June, and then I was not expecting it to come like very soon. I was expecting because some of my friends in the Polyme group as well, they did their process on 10th June, and they didn't get any update.
Mhm.
So I was expecting like probably it will take 1 month at least. But I got an email from the embassy like it has been issued in 5 days, and I got it in the
Wow.
I submitted in Monday, and I picked up my visa on next Monday.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. So when did you apply? The date from which to which date?
I applied on 24th June, and you can just say the next. I got it on. I believe I got the email on 1st July. I believe, yeah,
Oh, wow, that's great. That's great. So you got visa
yeah,
in just 5 to 7 days.
yeah.
That's
Just
a
five to
big deal.
seven days.
That too from Delhi Embassy.
Yeah, that too from Delhi
Really a
embassy. I
big
was not
part.
expecting it as well.
All right. Okay. Talking of the visa part, the most important actually. What about documentation? You have talked about cover letter and then e-sana, then attestations and all. What are your tips that you would conclude here for our audience?
I would say you should have the attestation in the hard copy for Delhi because they mentioned it as VFS also mentioned it to me. I asked them this doubt if I have e-Sanad. They said that e-Sanad is not valid. You have to have apostilles in the hard copy. So I would mainly recommend to have apostilles ready in the hard copy, and then I would say in my case, I have not done the dummy accommodation that as other students are doing. I don't know if it makes a difference or no. Like other students are doing booking.com like 1 month, they pre-book it and then they cancel it. I did not do that. I did it from Spot Home. I got an actual agreement from
Okay.
Spot Home for 4 months. So I did it from September to December. And then I also wrote it like in my cover letter that after that, if I'm not able to find accommodation through the university, I will just extend my contract with the same landlord. So I would
Okay.
recommend. I don't know if it makes a difference or not, but other people who have applied, they have done that. And
All right.
for
All right.
sponsor,
Mhm.
I would say my sponsor is my father itself. And in my case, as I have gone to Sweden as well for an exchange semester, so I also wrote in my cover letter that I have been there for 6 months, and my sponsor there as well was my father itself, just to make my profile better. And then my father is working in a private company itself, so I showed his employment letter and then his increment letter also, which was just he got like promotion in this year only. So I just attached to it. If it helps, so I just attached to it, and then I showed his ITRs of 3 months, and then I showed his payslips as well for 6 months, and then I showed the statements of 6 months.
Mhm.
And you can say from the checklist, I have not missed anything. I have given them even extra things. I have not missed anything.
All
Whatever
right.
they required, I have
Wow.
given them everything.
So you just
So
followed the Delhi embassy checklist, and after that you have
yeah,
provided them with additional documents too.
yeah, additional documents also, yeah. Because
Wow,
as
wow,
last
wow.
year also I was not able to submit the visa, so I thought why not give them everything.
No,
So that
absolutely. That
the
was really
situation
a
was
good
that when I
pointer.
went to the VFS,
Hmm.
yeah. So when I went to the VFS, even they were surprised, and they were asking me if the DOV is required for you or not, if this is required for you or not. So I was telling them, yeah, it is required for me. Just take it. So they were asking me doubts. Even the VFS people. Yeah.
Wow, now that's something called preparation. Actually, you did absolutely magnificent in that part because that was important. To our audience as well, it is very important to follow the checklist. Along with it is very important that you provide additional document if you have available because that somewhat makes the difference. It makes your profile a little better. So the chances of getting visa somewhat a little bit increases. So it is really a good pointer to have a lot of documents that are relatable to your process. It will make sense in the process overall, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure it will help, I believe. And in the interview also she asked me about these, like where are you staying? So I told her like I'm staying in the apartment, and then in the interview, first of all, my interview in general it took only 5 to 7 minutes, I would say.
Oh, wow.
And in those 5 to 7 minutes, she only asked like just introduce basic introduction, introduce yourself, and then she asked like why Italy, why not you can do a mechanical in India, because India is known for its mechanical engineering. Why did you not do that? So I basically did not prepare for the interview at all, because I had my plan to go for masters because really wanted to, just not like I wanted to go there just to explore or whatever. I wanted to do my masters because I had interest in motorsport engineering. That's it.
Oh,
So motorsport engineering is available in Polyme. That's why I chose Polyme and Sapienza, because motorsport is available in there. So in mechanical only there's a domain motorsport. So I just told her that because in India right now motorsport engineering is not that available in IITs also, and you can say there is a very high demand, and I really want to work here only in like you can say in an automotive company. So I just told her that here there's a very huge demand of the automotive engineers, but from a specific university, like the university should have to be a top university. So then she asked like and then I also told her like in bachelor's here it is fine to do a bachelor's from like you can say a good university, but to do a master's here in India, it is important to have like a best university. That's why I gave like her reason why not in India and why I chose Polyme, because it is top 10, and then motorsport engineering is well known there. So I believe after that she asked me about my sponsor's detail, like what is your father doing, and
mhm.
she was, I don't know. I just told her like he's in a very good position there, so he's like I'm privileged enough to have you can say he's in a very good position there, so he's comfortably able to sponsor me. Then she asked about the company details as well, like where is he working, just tell me the company
Mhm.
name. So I told her the company name. Then she like looked on the internet, and then she also asked me like where I was working. Then I told her about my
Mhm.
company as well. Then she looked up the company details of my company as well, and then she asked me where I am working. Then I told her like 3 or 4 locations. Then she wanted to know like locations also. So then I specified my locations as well, like where I was working in a North department in Ghaziabad, Delhi, and then everything. So she like asked everything about my corporate, like what I have done, and then about my father's corporate as well.
Wow. So it was more about cross questioning. There were questions one by one.
Yeah, cross question. Yeah, one by one. So I was just answering one by one. Then they were just questioning. She was just questioning one by one, and then she also asked me like if I have been like if I have traveled before as well. So I just told her also like I've been to Sweden for exchange semester and other countries that I have went to. Then she asked me like if you have traveled there just for traveling, or you have done something as well. So I just told her like in Sweden I was there for exchange semester, and the rest of the countries I have been there for just for traveling purpose. So that was it.
All right, all
Five
right.
5 to 6 minutes.
Okay, throughout the interview has not allowed me to ask any question, but now do as I have a chance. Okay, Swastik, tell me one thing. Talking of the visa interview and documentation part, you of course had a good cover letter. That is the reason you had a chance to get a visa. So, what do you feel are a really good tips that one should consider while making a cover letter?
I would say like the point where it is mentioned why Italy and why polymer. That point should be a solid point. It is not to be like I'm just exploring or like this. That's why I
Mhm.
chose Italy. In my case, I don't know how it's for the other person, but in my case, it was a solid point. So yeah, I think it should be a solid point as well. And then just add whatever you think is like beneficial for you in terms of like if a third person view, if he is reviewing your cover letter. Like in my case, first of all, I did not add my student part because I thought it would not be helpful. But then the I thought why just not add it, and I specified as well like there my sponsor was also my father, so I think that is also a beneficial point. And in my cover letter, I also mentioned about my corporate as well, like how and why I'm not working now and why I'm pursuing masters. So that was also a solid point. Like I am facing challenges in my corporate that I think a master's is needed to give to have you can say a key to success in my career forwards. That's why I would say one more point. And then I also specified like my accommodation situation in there, and I also specified like just in one line after that. In my last line, I also said that my father has already covered for my airfare, my accommodation, and the
Mhm.
administrative fees. So that's also I added like it is already covered. Like from the funds I am showing, these are just the funds, and rest is already covered. So that's also I mentioned in the cover letter.
So, how much fund did you show for the visa purpose?
Uh, for the fund thing, my father had two accounts. So in my the first is his savings account, and the second one is a joint account with my mother. So in my
Okay.
first account, I showed around 12 lakhs, 12 lakhs 50,000.
Mhm.
And then in the second, in his joint account, there was one FD credited to it just for his needs, you can say. So I showed that also because it was there. So I thought, why not just show it? So I just showed the first account and the second account also. Like there's one FD. I also mentioned it in the cover letter that this the second account is my joint account of my father with my mother, and then in the second account also there's a FD catered to it. That's why. So in the second account also it was 12 lakh 80,000 around.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Now, a very good question here is about intention to return to India. Did you mention anything related to it, or what did you say
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that
In
part?
my cover letter, yeah. In my cover letter, I also mentioned that. As I told you in an interview, she also asked like, "What are you planning to do after that?" So I told her I'm going to work here only because I wanted to work in automotive company here. Here, there's because I also have my family here, so there's a huge demand of automotive engineer who are specified from you can say like top class universities, but
Mm-hmm.
they do not take any you can say students from like average or good universities here. As
Okay, okay,
if you're
okay.
doing a master's here, you have to have like a degree from a good university. So I also stated that as I have worked in a corporate, I am feeling these challenges. That's why I'm quitting and starting to do pursuing to do masters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one of the important question that I feel through audience point of view is, do you really need a consultant, or one can really do the process by himself? Is it that hard or that easy? What do you feel about it?
I would say you wouldn't require a consultant. If I had any doubts, obviously I would say I got it to know it from you only that too from for free. I got to like
Okay,
have
okay.
because I feel that your YouTube videos are sufficient enough because and if you read the checklist, everything is mentioned like properly. There is nothing mentioned that you have to have any doubt in it. I think it is properly mentioned. Just read the checklist thoroughly, and I believe I only had doubts in the apostle situation because I switched from Mumbai to Delhi. So I asked that
Mhm.
out from VFS itself. So that also was
Wow.
sorted enough. So I would say you
So
wouldn't need any.
yeah. Okay. So in that part, it is already available on internet. A lot of resources are there on internet, and other
Yeah.
than that, you can contact VFS Global and then your embassy and consulate for assistance, maybe through mail or
No, I don't
something,
think so.
right?
Embassy. I don't think so. Embassy doesn't reply at all because
Agreed.
everything is done by VFS. So you should contact VFS. They wouldn't answer you
Okay.
because everything is done by you. Yeah.
Okay. So you got assistance from VFS whenever you mailed them, right? They had
Yeah.
replied to your mails.
Only one doubt I asked them, like
Oh.
if I have peace and also. That's the only doubt I had. Yeah.
Okay, rest is available on internet. And to conclude with a very good question from again the audience point of view is to our audience here, what advice would you give that they should be there, they should not be there, and to a future aspirant who is completely new to this field?
I would say if you have in mind that you want to do like masters in abroad, you start preparing from second year of your bachelor's. I would say because first of all you will have to give a competitive exam. In my case, my profile was good enough, so I was able to, you can say, get an admission without a GRE, just with an IELTS. So I would say you will have to have IELTS or GRE. So start preparing from second or third year, like I did. And then even if you face any challenges like I faced, where my master's was postponed because my degree got delayed, I would say just it's like only a matter of time that you will get it. If you are like really want it, it's just a matter of time you will get it. And just I would say just not give up. I would say just give them everything, whatever they want. Give or do all the processes one by one. I just did the stamps. There's a lot to do in case of Italy, I would say. So I will just say like do all the processes step by step, and you will be getting the visa easily.
Wow, so it is more about following the process slowly and trusting the process that best will come out. You got to check out the
Yeah,
list and everything and be prepared, right?
yeah. Just be prepared for whatever they ask. If you are really genuine, you will get everything.
Wow, that's great. So this was the first visa interview of 2024 session of September, and it was Swastik with us. So yes, a very big thank you, Swastik, for being here on this channel. It was
Yeah,
really a
thank you to
pleasure
you
to
too,
discuss all
because
this
from
with the
your video
audience.
only I got, yeah, from your video only I got to know like there's polymy, and I'm going right there. I'm going right now. Like, so what
Wow,
are the
that was great.
coincidences, you know?
Yeah, it is. It is actually that was the motive of making videos to help the students out, and I guess it is getting fulfilled now that you are one of these students who really got help from our side. So yes, it was great, and it's so kind of you to be here on this channel today. So yes, a big thank you, Swastik, and thanks to our audience too for joining us. And yes, this was just the first video, many more to come. So subscribe to our channel, and yes, stay tuned till then.